Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Chris here in Hawaii, and we are at the London Close Analysis and trading session here for the 23rd of June. It is Tuesday, and we're at 4:06 p.m. London time. That means it's 5 in the morning over here. I've got my energy drink. I'm ready to go. So uh, we'll talk about fundamentals. Talk about the trade from yesterday, and then we'll see if there's any opportunities for today. We had an Aussie CAD yesterday, and the Australian dollar kind of moved all over the place. So just really crazy stuff happening with Navarro on the news, basically saying the China trade deal was done and gave reasons for it and was pretty firm about this. So the market believed it and dropped like a rock. I mean, the Dow futures went from, I think, being up 100 points to down 400 points within a couple minutes. I mean, it was something to see. So, those are the occasions like that, or the SMB intervention. These real black swan type events where you got no control over the market, and it's important to have a stop in there. And it kind of made me think about my own trading, and can I get my stops tighter and maybe take more small losses for those big gains. So something to think about, and you want to try to learn from these opportunities that you have here. I actually got out of the Aussie CAD before this whole crazy thing happened, and was able to scalp some really nice positioning moves on Aussie yen during the Asia session, and made a ton of money. So I don't normally trade the Asia session because it is slower moving, and generally there's nothing that market moving there. But this one was pretty predictable. You saw the move down, and then it just stalled for about 20 minutes, and that made me think that this was not right, because Navarro kind of went out of context on a news feed. And if they were going to make something this big to announce, it wouldn't be Navarro talking about it, it'd be Trump. So I think the market, as soon as the market realized that, it rubber banded back to the original price for a lot of the risk pairs. So the aftermath of this is kind of what you see here on the heat map. It's pretty, I mean, it's checkers out there. If you look at this thing, I mean, the Aussies kind of bid, but I mean, their strongest is versus the dollar at 0.82%, but there's nothing over 1%, so you don't see a clear trend here. So it's definitely more of a range day. The dollar's down, and I think the dollar is going to continue to depreciate here. Canadian dollar's down as well. So despite more of a risk-on tone, the Canadian dollar is getting sold off a bit. So that tells you, to me, that things are going to turn here, because normally when it's a strong risk-on feeling in the markets, you're going to see Aussie, Kiwi, CAD all pretty healthy here. But that's not the case. So you can see the yen kind of mixed, but starting to gain some ground here versus pairs. I mean, it's up obviously versus the dollar, but I have a feeling we're going to see some sell-off here as the market continues to digest what happened yesterday. I think that probably spooked a lot of people that thought this was going to trend upward for a longer period into just taking profits and getting out of it. So that's probably what you're seeing a little bit of right now. In terms of the overnight, like I said, dollar was weaker after that late night jump. Canadian dollar still failing to gain on that positive mood with the stronger crude. The euro had the strong exceeded expectations, I'll say, not strong, on their PMI numbers. Pound, same thing, but they're underperforming despite the stronger than expected PMIs. I think that has to do with Brexit. The yen was lagging, but starting to reverse here. And Aussie did have strong PMIs, and the market optimism pushed it above at the London Open, but it's starting to get sold off a bit now. So That's what we have fundamentally. So for me, when you look at these trades and look what's going on, you want to look at price action and you want to look at what's happening now, not what happened 4 hours ago. What's happening now, because that tells me what the current risk mood is. And it seems like going into London, people don't want to hold on to it because you're starting to see a little bit of a risk off type environment here. I mean, you can look and see right here, Euro yen is about to go negative or short, and same thing with Euro Kiwi, or excuse me, Yen Kiwi yen. So that tells me that the yen's going to start rising here a little bit. So we're going to be looking for moves that involve risk off. I like the fact that the euro had stronger PMIs. So one trade that I was looking at that broke a nice trend line on a 4-hour is the euro CAD. So let's take a look at that. And we'll see if we have anything tradable today. I have a feeling we will, though. You can see here's well, let me cover the Aussie CAD first. I mean, usually 4:30 p.m. is kind of the time frame I'm looking to trade. So we got in right here on this Aussie CAD. It spiked up to about a 2-to-1 reward to risk. Then it dropped down below. It did not close below our stop level. And then started rising again. So actually, when it got up to these levels, I got out of this thing because normally when it goes down and hits your stop area, if it reverses down that low, it's generally not going to come up and hit your target again, especially if it does it later in the day. As you can see, after the crazy Navarro comments, it did come up to hit where I forecast. But this would have taken you out for sure. You can see it went right down to this level of volume. So this is where I tell you, we talk about support and resistance levels, and the fact that volume profile to me is the strongest tool in determining that. That's the reason why is, this is where the orders are. You can see the flow is going upwards. Even though it went down here to test this, it blew through this level here. This real strong level of volume is where all the orders were, and that's what got protected here. I mean, right away. So unless there's something crazy that's market changing, it's not gonna, this is going to be protected. So because once again, with all things being equal here, no crazy change in sentiment. The sentiment among investors is that it's going upwards with based on the volume. Yeah. So Euro CAD, let's look at that and see where we're at here on Euro CAD. So we had a spike down to 152.90. You can see the flow is up. Let's take a look and see what volume profile is looking like here. And that will kind of give us our support and resistance levels here. So we'll go from really, I'm going to go from this point right here to see what the level is. I have a feeling this is the level right here. Actually, we're gonna go from here to here. Yeah, you can see there's some volume right here, and then slightly stronger, you see the volume build up right here. So nothing down here. So if this breaks down into the 52.88, it'll go down into this level here. But 152.70 seems like that's the support level. So that looks like where we would be looking to trade from if it kind of came down into this level here. I don't know if it'll make it down there actually. So it broke that 153 barrier. So I'm looking for it to get up to these this 150, 350 to 154 would be kind of where I'd be interested in it going. But the fact that it's at 153.04 now, we'd be looking at a 30 pip stop and a 50 pip target profit. So I don't know if I'd be interested in that unless it bounced off here. So let me keep looking and see what other risk moves that we have. that could be opportunities for us. This is my morning trading drink. Okay. Let's take a look. Yeah, and what I'm looking for, like I said, is I'm looking for really good support resistance levels on with a risk off feel to it for today. Anything yen would be good. 12. So Swiss franc yen short would be good. Like 112.40 looks like a good level that it could be targeting, but I don't think the risk reward is really solid on that. Let me keep going down and see if we can find anything else. CAD yen would be fantastic, actually. Okay, here's one we're looking at right here. Be a good one for us. So we have a good level here at 178.76. You see all the volume at 79.14. Huge flow downward. Found a little bit of a base here in the last hour, and it's trying to spike up a little bit here, but it's gone below the lows of that spike down. So I just don't know if the risk to reward would be good enough for us. I mean, there is volume right here, and you can see it's being rejected for sure. So could this take another leg down? The target we would be looking at, though, would be in that 78.30 range. So, 78.30 to 78.40, which is the lows here. So I don't think the reward to risk is quite good enough yet, because we'd be looking at maybe a 30 pip profit target, and the stop you'd be looking at maybe 20 pips. So let's see what it does if it gets up to 80 and if it can retrace there. But right now, nothing worthwhile on that. And I have a feeling all the yen pairs are going to look very, very similar. So Aussie US is spiking up towards that 70 cent mark, but not interested in that today. Euro Swiss franc could be an interesting one. Actually, so it's a little bit of a risk off right now, but the Swiss franc is not really appreciating as much as you would think with a risk-off environment, and the Euro PMIs were good, the Eurozone PMIs. Let's take a look at that. So there's a level at 106.84. The only reason I don't like the Euro Swiss franc as much is it just doesn't move. You can see it's right at that level, 106.84. Big time resistance, though. So big time supply at 107, the marker itself. You have a pretty strong volume buildup as you get lower into this 106.70 mark. So this could be a good trade, but I mean, you'd be looking at, let's see, we're looking at about, what would be the level? About a 25 pip profit target. Stop would be 15 pips. So not really spectacular. And then, I don't like the fact that this pair just takes forever, and it doesn't bode well with this current strategy. Pound US could be something solid, but Brexit really, really scares me on this. It looks like it's starting to trend towards 126.90, which is a strong level. We'll come back to this Euro Swiss franc. I mean, it looks pretty decent, but I don't know, the flow over the last 3 hours has been pretty rough for Euro Swiss franc. It's consolidating a bit. Flow for the pound US, as you can see, has been up the last, let's see, hour, 2, 3, 4, last 5 hours. It's been going in an upward direction, and it's actually broken these highs here. So this could be something decent for us. We'd be looking at what, a 160 pip profit target, which this thing could move that fast. We would use this as our stop. So you're looking at about a 40 pip stop. So, a good way to do this, if you want a hard stop, which I'm actually thinking about doing a little bit more. I mean, sometimes it hits those hard stops more often, but when you have a risk day like yesterday where it could just totally crush you, with like a 3 to 4 times to 1 hit, it's best just to put it below the low. So you'd be looking at 58 pip stop with 160 pip target, so 3 to 1. It's just a lot of pips, though, even for the pound pair. I'd like to see it kind of come down to this level here and give us a little bit more of a favorable entry level. So if it can get down to 125, I'd be a buyer at that level. The Brexit worries me for sure, but I think the US dollar is going to depreciate here pretty substantially. So let's take a look and see if I can find anything else. There's nothing really standing out today so far. So let's see. Yeah, CAD pairs seem like they're going to be the most reasonable for a break here. US yen. Let me take a look at that. That's an interesting one. That just broke a strong level, and it spiked. So it's at 106.31. $106.31. Oh no, that ship has sailed. Yeah. This we should have gotten in earlier. It would have been a breakdown here. 106.62 down there. So we're a little late to the party on that one. All right, guys. Hey, I'm going to keep looking here. I don't want to keep you on with me if there's nothing favorable for us to trade. But let me take a look, and if I find something solid, I'll let you know here. There's a nice little channel on US CAD, but once again, I don't think the CAD's particularly strong right now. The fact that there's something of a risk-on feel and the CAD's not coming along tells me there's going to be some weakness here on that. So I will hop off here, and if I see anything, I will let you guys know. But right now, nothing tradable yet. So I'll let you know if we find something good. All right. Thanks. we have a trade that we are going to take. So there were comments on the China deal, quote unquote, from Kudlow, that China's picked up its game. So that's the economic advisor, and also talked about tax rebates and direct checks, both being on the table. So that bodes well for risk on. I looked at some of the flow, and it looks like the pound is being bought up here late in trading. So looking here at the pound yen, you can see this is a strong level, but there's some underlying build here in volume. So the fact that this thing is getting touched so much, and you can see the volume down here is stronger than up here, that leads to tell me that the flow is in an upward direction. But could be wrong, but this is the trade we're going to take. So we have a long position at 35 is where we got in. If we are wrong, the stop is at 17. And actually, this is a hard stop, guys. So if it goes south, it'll hit us pretty quick here, and it looks like it's starting to go south. So, but that earthquake in Mexico didn't do us any good here. Target is 134 even. So we're looking at a reward to risk of 3.7 to 1. So we're targeting the highs here. Low is once again just below this 30-minute. So if it closes, starts going downwards, it's definitely gonna take a little bit of a dip here, and I'm assuming it'll probably consolidate in this area. But I'm betting on the fact that it's going to break through this consolidation and keep going up. We'll see. We'll see how this Mexico earthquake impacts this trade, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Thanks, guys.